someone said, and I quote, she embodies her character so much in movies that you will think it's reality. And I think that's a really, really sweet compliment
Yes, it
because
is.
I agree with
It
you.
is. I don't know if you've heard this, but a bunch of people have come to my DMs. A bunch of people have tweeted. I've gotten a bunch of tweets saying, "What is it? Teniola Aladese should stop. She should stop stealing other people's men in films." And I'm just like,
Okay,
guys,
I did
it's
not
a
hear this one.
character. It's not me. Hi guys, I'm live with BellaNaija. Keep watching, subscribe, like, comment, share.
Hi, Teniola. How are you
Hi.
feeling right
How am I
now?
feeling right now? I'm feeling rested. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. How, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you to be chatting with BellaNaija right now?
Very, very. I haven't been out since day before yesterday, so I came out for you guys. So yeah.
Yay! Thank you. We love that. We love that. And you look really, really
Thank
beautiful
you.
today. I
Thank you
love
so
your
much.
makeup.
Thank you so much. I did it myself.
Yay!
Yes,
Oh
I
wow!
sent a picture to my makeup artist.
Please, so don't collect food from her mouth. Have you had the
She
people
wasn't
say?
available. She had a bride.
Okay, so I watched you a Little Black Book. Oh my god,
Oh
I
gosh.
love Little Black Book, and I
Thank
don't
you.
even know. I don't know why it was stopped.
Me too, I don't know because people keep stopping me and sending me messages. I'm just like, guys, I was a hired help. I'm not the executive producer. So yeah.
So someone said, and I quote, she embodies her character so much in movies that you will think it's reality. And I think that's a really, really sweet compliment
Yes, it
because
is.
I agree
It
with
is.
it.
Thank you so much.
And I watched your interview with Jude, and you mentioned that, oh, you did not really have any formal acting,
Hmm.
training. And I was wondering, how were you able to build your acting skills to this level where you can embody your character so much that it begins to feel real?
First of all, I think that a number of actors do this. We people watch a lot. Some people may see it as amiable, but we just love to watch people, and you pick traits from certain people. As like, I remember there was a character I played. I played a police officer recently, and I remember picking a certain trait that I gave her from somebody that I had spoken to about, I think, 3 years ago. I just had a conversation with somebody. But that's the thing. We people watch a lot. Something else that we do that I tend to do, a bunch of actors do as well, is take classes online, watch a lot of YouTube. I also have an acting coach. Sarah Damascus is my acting coach. Veteran Lover. Today's her birthday, actually.
Mm.
But yeah, she's my acting coach. I've forgotten the question, but I feel like I'm still on track. Am I?
Yes, yes, you are. So the question is how you were able to build your skills to this level where you can get that kind of compliment, like embodying your characters till it feels
Yeah,
like you,
yeah,
particularly because you don't have any formal acting,
yeah. Yeah,
training.
so I study a lot. I study my scripts a lot and unhealthy amount of times. And then yeah, just do online when I have my downtime. I tend to take classes online. I remember once I was broke. I was really really broke. But my last, I think then this was maybe like 3 years ago. I wasn't working then. I used my last 86,000 naira to pay for master class, and I took Samuel L. Jackson's class, Shonda Rhimes class. Who else? There are a bunch of people. But yeah, I do stuff like that, and that helps a lot for actors.
And then here we are. So you've taken like so many roles: Little Black Book, Christmas in Lagos,
Hmm.
and which one of these characters that you have played stretched you so much, or stayed
Hmm.
with you long after the camera has stopped rolling?
So the character that has stayed with me the longest, the film isn't even out yet. I don't know what's happening with the film. I remember asking the producer about maybe 4 months ago, what is going on with this film? And they said they're looking for distribution. It's a film called As We Age. It was directed by A.K. Mason. And I play this character, Anita, who has a stutter. So she stammers. She has a speech impediment. And while studying for this character, I watched a bunch of documentaries. One of the documentaries that I watched was, I can't remember what it was called, but there was this guy. His name was, I hope I'm not murdering his name, Masharaf or something like that. It's been a while, it's been like 3 years. But I remember he went to a speech school to correct his stutter. A bunch of people were in the speech school. But here's the thing, they told every single student to come to the front of the class and introduce themselves. And they would record this introduction for the purpose of seeing how bad the stutter was. It was over 2 minutes. He could not get his name out. I cried watching that documentary, but it helped me a lot in prepping for this character. And I remember every single day after shoot, I would have like my abs would be hurting. I would have a headache just from trying to get the words out because I was playing a chick with a stutter. And I feel like the biggest compliment that I've gotten was the producer then messaging me saying while they were in edit, somebody that didn't know who I was had come to the what they call it, the editing facility and said, "Oh, does she stammer? Is she a stammerer?" And then I know she's an actor. But apparently the person was so taken by my performance that they thought that I stammered. That was a huge compliment. But the point is, for months after that, I was stumbling over my words. It took a lot for me to get back to Tenny that just rambles all along. So yeah, that was the character that stayed with me the most, I think.
Okay, I have two questions just out of curiosity.
Okay.
One, how were you now able to get out of that character? If it took months to,
It took a lot of me talking to myself in my apartment in Magodo, just talking and reading. Like when I would read sometimes in my room, I would read like articles out loud just so that I reminded myself what it was like to speak like myself. But yeah, it was a chore because for like 6 months I would be talking to my mom sometimes, and I would just be on a normal day I stutter a little, but this one it was bad. It was bad. Yeah,
wow.
yeah,
Now let's also talk about the preparation. You were preparing to be someone who stutters.
yeah.
Now imagine you were shooting like two or multiple movies at that
Mm,
time.
hmm.
Here you are preparing to learning how to stutter. And then your other role requires you to, I don't know, maybe be an amebo that is very
Hmm.
fluent or something. How do you balance the rehearsals? How do you move from just this rehearsing for this
Yeah.
to this, like just switching roles immediately?
Honestly, that's why at that time I wasn't getting as much work, let me not lie. So at that time, maybe I feel like I had a break afterwards. But that was, even then, I used to give myself a break after every project. Now, on this side of the world, actors in Nigeria can't afford to do that. You can't afford to give yourself that much of a break because really, how much are we getting paid? We're not in Hollywood where you can take 1 gig a year or 1 gig in 2 years. So yeah, I feel like I had a break in between, but sometimes that is not the case. You're jumping from this set, you're shooting. What am I saying? I wrapped a project the day before yesterday. I'm beginning another one is it Sunday? On In 2 days. In 2 days. We don't have that much time, but we do the best with what we have. Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. So you're a producer,
Yes. I
an
haven't been in a
actor,
minute, but yeah.
an actor,
Yeah.
a cast director,
Hmm.
which means that you wear multiple hats,
Yes.
right? So, how has being multi skilled helped you find and solidify your place in Nollywood?
That's an interesting question. I feel like being behind the scenes helped me a lot as an actor. Right now, I haven't done that much cast directing and production in about say 2 years, 2 years I believe, 1.5 or 2 years. But while I was in production, before I became a full time actor, I feel like there were certain things that I learned just being behind the scenes, learning that um, you're part of a bigger picture, learning patience. A lot of things will go down in production. You think you will come on set at 7 a.m. and shoot, say you have two scenes, and shoot 9 o'clock and then wrap at 12 and go home. You can be there the whole day. You can be there the whole day and you will not shoot. They can come and tell you, sorry, there was a problem with the location, and you can't like I don't want to say you can't vex, but it happens. And I feel like being in production and seeing that those things happen helped me to be more patient and to be more understanding. So as an actor, I'm more patient. Like we get on set, things happen. I'll just chill. You pay me, shall, but I'll chill. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like that has helped me.
Okay, okay, that's a solid response. So, we're talking about finding your place in Nollywood,
Hmm.
and that's because it's a very huge and diverse industry,
Yeah.
right? How were you able to like carve that niche for yourself? Do you decide the kind of stories you're going to run? Do
Mm.
you decide how you want to be perceived? Because it's also an industry where if you're acting this way,
Yeah.
if you are not careful, you will be this way for as long as possible,
Yeah.
right? So how were you able to, one, find your feet, and then secondly decide that this is how I want to be seen or
Yeah.
heard or felt?
So originally, in the past, when it wasn't as if gigs were coming that often, I got this advice from an older actor because I was complaining about the quality of scripts that I was getting, and he said, "Tenny, you will do them." This was maybe 4 years ago. He said, "Tenny, you will do them. You will do all of them, the bad and the ugly." But then it will get to a point where you're making enough money to choose what you want to do, to choose the projects that you want to be on, and to choose the projects that you will say no to. Right now, thankfully, thankful to God, I'm in that space where I can afford to get a script and go, yeah, I'm not a fan of this. This script isn't that good. I don't think I've gotten characters where I said, I don't want to be perceived in this light. Maybe I've been uncomfortable by certain scripts or certain characters that I've gotten, but not so much as how I'm being perceived as a person. Just so much so that I'm not comfortable with the character. I'm not comfortable being this character. Some actors don't do that. They're up for anything. But recently, I got a character that I was not comfortable playing, and I told my management, I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure about this one. I really don't know. Uh,
So do you reject roles like that?
yeah, yeah, sure. We reject roles based on scripts, mostly scripts, pay, um, but yeah, mostly scripts and pay. If the script isn't great, we will say no.
how
Because
how
from
do you how do you balance that with making money, right? Like, please, oh, the economy is getting
yeah,
tougher, oh, I need money.
That's
But
that
this
is the thing.
script.
Sometimes it will happen. It's happened recently, very recently actually, where my management was saying, okay, what do you think about this? They had told me what they thought about the script. And I'm just like, guys, if they pay my full rate, please let's do it because I need money. Um Originally that's not the case all of the time. Sometimes that is the case for some actors. But I also know that I'm speaking from a privileged point of view because some actors don't have that option. If one gig comes in a month, who are you to be saying will not take it when you have bills to pay and you have people to feed? So yeah.
Okay, okay. So I know we talked about stereotypes,
Mhm.
but as have you ever felt like you were being boxed
Oh
and
yes.
you needed to like get out of that
Oh
box?
yes. I don't know if you've heard this, but a bunch of people have come to my DMs. A bunch of people have tweeted. I've gotten a bunch of tweets saying, "What is it? Teniola Aladese should stop. She should stop stealing other people's men in films." And I'm just like,
Okay,
guys,
I did
it's
not
a
hear this one.
character. It's not me. But yeah, at some point, I know that there are 3 films that have done well that people saw, that certain people then had a certain perception of why is it only Tenny they keep giving these roles. And at some point, I had to start saying no to those kind of roles. Roles that were I've played a few roles that had characters. I played a few characters that were very sexy, very seductive, very. But then I started getting a lot of those roles, and I'm just like, people, I can do much more than this. Let's just hold on. Um, Also, I feel like more recently, and I'm very thankful for the roles that I've been getting recently between last year and this year. There were certain characters that I got tired of playing pretty girl roles, if that makes sense. And I feel as though I was getting a lot of that for a while. Just fine girl roles, nice makeup, bone straight. And I remember there was one particular character. This woman works. I don't want to give too much away, but this woman works somewhere. Wasn't making too much money. Had a kid. And when I got on set, they did fine makeup for me, and they give me bone straight. And I'm just like, guys, I don't think when I was reading the script, I don't, first of all, how can she afford this wig? And why does she look excessively pretty? I imagine this woman in a bad wig because she doesn't make that much money. And so I'm looking for a lot more characters that aren't necessarily conventionally pretty. Um, and just by looking at them, you can tell what they do. you can tell that there's a lot more character to them. It's not all about looking fine on screen, to be honest. Which is why I'm thankful for a bunch of characters that I've gotten to play recently. I've played an Abosela. I can't wait for people to see that. I played a policewoman. I can't wait for people to see that. Others I can't really speak about, but yeah, I'm excited about that.
I can't wait to watch you being an Agbosela.
Thank you.
Okay, talking about roles that you love, are there any roles or genre that you feel like you've not really been a part of and you would really,
Hmm.
really want to play that role?
So I love watching psychological thrillers. They're my favorite genre to watch. And I feel like I would love to be in a psychological thriller with me as the lead, I think, or the villain, one of them. But
Or
yeah,
the villain?
yes,
Why?
yes, yes, I would like that a lot.
Why would you want to play the villain?
Villains are very interesting. They're very complex and they're very interesting. It's nice to watch the lead be a good girl and be a good guy, but I feel like a lot of the times my favorite characters in films are the villains. I find them very interesting, and I feel like they're very interesting to play as well.
We were talking about getting into characters earlier
Hmm.
on, and you and Elozona mentioned that, oh, it's not so easy to just get into character. To people like us that are just watching on our screens, we're like, it's very easy now. So what's that aspect of filmmaking, maybe on set, that people don't really see? Like the efforts behind the scene, right?
Hmm.
For you in particular.
I feel like for everybody, every part of filmmaking is hard, especially in Nigeria. Doing filmmaking in Nigeria is hard, Jesus. It's really hard for everybody, for producers, for directors, for sound men. There's noise, there's generator everywhere. Um, for actors, I feel like you have such a short period to get into character for a lot of the times. Maybe sometimes you're lucky once in a blue moon where you get the script say 3 months before or 4 months before, but that doesn't happen often. You could get a script today and you're supposed to be on set what when the okay, this is the when April, you're supposed to shoot in 2 weeks' time. It's hard. It's hard trying to shed your own self and become somebody else. It's hard forgetting how you move. It's hard forgetting how you walk, how you talk, and talking like a whole completely different person. That's really hard. And talking and moving like this person for an extended period of time is extremely difficult. It's extremely difficult. Sometimes you and I'm so thankful for co-stars that will remind you of of uh of the character that you're playing. Because you could be on set 1 minute, people are gisting, and then you're meant to shoot, and you do something, and your co-star taps you and goes, Tenny, that's Tenny. That's not Tilewa. So remember Tilewa. So yeah, it can be so easy to forget, but it's really difficult. Yeah.
Okay, on a lighter note,
Mhm.
you're a very stylish person.
Thank
I
you.
know you don't want the whole fine girl, but I guess people cannot help it. You're a very, very stylish person,
Thank you.
right? So, is there any fashion era or style icon that is influencing your look lately? I love the bangles, by
Mm.
the
Thank
way.
you. Not even lately. I love okay, style icons, Tracy Ellis Ross, as well as Tessa Thompson. I love their styles because I'm not the biggest fan of wearing like tight dresses and showing curves, but I know that people love to see me in those. So I'm like, okay, let me just be a lady today. I think my style is very eclectic. I can look like a lady today and wear a pantsuit tomorrow. But why I love Tessa Thompson's style as well as Tracy Ellis Ross is because they play a lot with volume and interesting shapes and interesting patterns and textures. I love volume. I love wearing big clothes that are larger than life. Yeah. So those are my style icons.
You love wearing big clothes
I love
that
wearing
are
big
larger
clothes.
than
I,
life.
I love wearing big clothes so much.
Okay, so what's on your radar now? What are the things we should be watching out for next week, next year,
Okay.
next month?
I think in the course of the year, I'm not sure when these films are supposed to come out, but in the course of the year and maybe next year, not maybe, in the course of this year, hopefully, and also next year, there are a bunch of films that will come out that I'm excited about people seeing. I don't know if these ones that I mentioned, the interesting characters that I really, really liked playing, I don't know if they will come out this year. I doubt it. But I'm looking forward to people seeing those and seeing me in a completely different light and not being characters that are stealing somebody's man. So yeah, I'm looking forward to those. Yeah. I also have a brand that I'm building with my co-founders, working on that. So sometime soon it
Spill
should
the
be out.
beans. Just spill
No,
the
no, no.
beans
I'll let you
already.
guys know in due time. In due time. In due time.
Okay, all right. You guys remember
Clothing
that.
brand, but yes, in due time.
Okay, clothing brand. Oh,
Yes.
I'm not surprised. You guys remember that it is Teniola's character. It's not Tenny
It's
that is
not
stealing
me,
anyone's
oh,
man.
it's the
Oh.
characters. I beg.
Okay, all right. Tenny, thank you very
Thank
much
you
for
so
having
much
this
for having me.
conversation with
Thank you.
us.